Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great week. We are rocking and rolling. We got lots of things going on. Just wanted to, I got some great video here, question video this morning. But a couple things I want to go over first. Number one, we've had this request for quite a while. This is just an example of the sets of layout letters that we have. Well, finally we are putting in the little layout on exactly what that font looks like and how to register those letters right, how to get them the right way, because I still see quite a few letters backwards and upside down and all of that. So every set now has the actual little cheat sheet in there, basically, of showing you exactly how those letters go. So we've got one for the Western and the Fatty font, and the Bookman font, and the Clarendon. So any letters that you get from us now will have these right in there. It wouldn't have to necessarily be a starter pack. Just the sets will have those little cheat sheets in there. Show you how those letters go. That was the first thing. Oh, and the other thing is, on Monday's video, and I don't know why I didn't mention this, but I got this a couple emails and actually comments. This one that I did where I was figuring out why this wood was kind of marring up the surface. The first thing I always check is the moisture in the board. So the moisture in both these boards, I knew it before he ever sent this material to me. I knew the boards were dry because he measured the moisture in them, and they're down less than 6%. I think at one point it was at 6%. But now it was down less than 6% when I measured it this morning. So moisture and wetness wasn't the issue that we were having. It was definitely, you know, the type of wood and the characteristics of this particular type of cedar. So anyway, so any of you that go back and watch that, you'll see I was remiss in not mentioning that I knew it wasn't the moisture in the board, that it had to have been something else. Anyway, that was my bad. I should have covered that right off the bat. So we've got another phone call question, phone call thing coming up. This one I think is going to be really, really helpful. Bill Morris and I talk. He asks questions. We talk about sanding issues that he was having. We talk about some issues that he was having with the cedar fencing and kind of reiterating some of the little things that he was having with that. We talk about different kinds of woods for bigger signs. We go into selling to RVers. So this is a really great phone call that I had from about a week or so ago. It's Bill Morris. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. And I've got more stuff coming up. Don't forget, Friday we're starting a brand new big project on Friday. I think you guys are going to really like it, and we've got a big, huge announcement coming on Friday as well. So hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you on Friday starting that big project. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Hi, is this Bill?
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, this is Eric with Dave Signs.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great, and I feel really, really bad about being late calling you back, but let me well, here's the deal. Vicky wrote your number down incorrectly, and I tried to call you for about 2 hours yesterday, and then I tried to call you again this morning, and it was busy. Every time I called, it was busy. And so I went back and I said, Vic, can you check this number again for me real quick? And she had written it down wrong, so that's the reason it took me so long to get back to you.
We're going to have to get after her, ain't we?
Yeah, you go right ahead. I'm too close. I'm within reaching distance. So you call her and give her heck.
Okay. Well, I think I answered my question because I've been watching some of your videos.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you got? How can I help?
Well, I was going to ask you about the buildup on the sanding disc so bad when I sand off the black ink.
Okay.
But I watched a couple of your videos and noticed that you use a 40 grit.
Yeah. Now, so when you say, are you using a disc sander or a belt sander?
Well, I'd use a disc a lot of times, but I think it'd probably be better to use the belt, though, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, it's kind of a personal preference, honestly. A lot of the guys like the disc sanders. I've never really used a disc sander much, so I like the belt sander because I kind of grew up with it. But
yeah,
to be honest, it's more of kind of a personal preference. The belt sander. It can take a while to get the hang of a belt sander. It's really easy to gouge outset letters and stuff, especially with a rough belt. So if you're more comfortable with a disc sander, go with that.
But, yeah, I was getting so much black ink buildup.
Yeah.
I'd go, but I wasn't, I was using a 80 grit, so it was loading up with the stencil ink so bad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to go with the rougher grit to start out with, 40 or 50, and then it shouldn't build up, at least on the belts. Again, I'm not a disc guy, but on the belts, I know if I start with an 80, it'll kind of load up. You know, you can use the sanding belt cleaner, that big rubber stick thing, and that helps. But if you start with a rough grit, like a 40 or 50, it won't build up at all.
Okay, yeah, I just ordered some a little bit ago off Amazon. So.
Yeah. That's what I kind of found out a long time ago. I start with a rough belt and then work my way down. But you know, I go honestly. The 80 grit is the most of the time is the finished sand for me if I'm out working like carving on site. I go with a 40 or 50 as a rough and get about 90%, 95% of the black off, and then I finish it off with an 80.
Okay.
If I'm just working in the shop and I want a real nice finish, then I'll go back with my my little orbital sander. I've got like a little octo vibrator sander, and I'll go back with like a 120 or 220 with that if I want a really clean finish.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, after I'd called you yesterday, then I got on your website and was looking at some of the sanding videos, and I've run across a couple of them that kind of helped me out on that.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you got it. That's definitely the way to go. That should make it. Have you tried it yet?
Not yet. I'm getting ready to work on a sign now. So.
Yeah, that should do it for you, Bill.
Now I noticed too, I got a stack of boards here drying.
Yes.
They're dry, but you don't cut them up all at one time.
No, not normally. Normally, and I'll tell you why. Normally, I like to leave them just on stickers and use them as I need them. Now, that's not the case, obviously, when I'm out carving on site, like I was up in Oatman. I'd have to make up 20, 30, 40, 50 boards to have them ready. But now that, I don't do that, here at the shop, I leave them up on stickers with weight on them until I need to cut them up into boards.
Okay.
Because when I don't do that, if I were to cut them up into boards and just stack them up and stuff, then the chances are with moisture and stuff, we might get some cupping, and definitely when I put them on stickers, I found if I didn't leave weight on them as they were sitting there waiting for me, I'd come out and a day or two later, if we were in monsoon season or something like that where there's moisture in the air, those things would turn into rockers.
Okay, yeah, I got them stacked up here in the garage on sticks and then weight on top of them.
Yeah, that's the way I'd leave them until you get ready to cut boards out of them and get ready to make signs out of them. That's the way I'd leave them, buddy.
Okay, and then when you do cut a sign like a 6x24, you just use a rough sand on the sides you're going to carve on?
Yes, correct.
Do you sand that down some?
Yeah, it depends. When you buy that, and you're talking about the 6-foot pickets. Yeah.
The cedar pickets.
Yeah. What I do is because that stuff starts off kind of thin anyway, I just rough sand the side that's going to be the face of my sign, and I sand with the grain, and just take it down just enough so that it might still be a little bit rough, but it won't get splinters in your hands, and the router base will slide on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I don't touch the back at all. I don't touch the back until the sign is already completely done. I don't touch the back.
Yeah, I noticed that on your video. Then you just cross grain on the back and leave it like that.
Exactly right. I don't want to take any more off of that material, because some of the stuff that I get, it's down to, just barely over a ½ inch when I get it. So I don't want to take any more off than I absolutely have to on that cedar fencing.
Yeah, I know, because I'm sitting here looking at my boards now, and some of them, about a half. Some of them are a little wider than a ½ inch.
Yeah.
Some of them are nice thickness.
Yeah, and you know what? I've talked to guys from around the country and stuff, and some of the fencing that they get is a full 3/4 inch, and man, I'd love that, but that's not the stuff that I get here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So also, when you're carving signs and making signs, most of them you make just out of the pickets them days, Eric?
Yeah, when I'm all my small stuff, anything that is that's a 6x24 or less, if I can get it out of the pickets, that's exactly what I'll use. I like the cedar. I like that cedar fencing. If it's wider, like if I got to make something that's 7, 8, 9 inches wide, that's when I go to my 1x12 pine. I go to the select pine, because that's all I really have available to me.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
If I were back east, like for instance, even my son over in California, he's got 1x12, 1x10, and 1x12 cedar fencing available to him. It is awesome. But I just don't get it. I just don't have that here. So if I had that available to me, I definitely would be using that over select pine.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, he's got 1x12 cedar fencing, and it's inexpensive like the 1x6 that I get here, which is really only about 5 inches net. But and it's beautiful stuff. So he makes a lot of signs. Most of his stuff is out of the cedar if it's 1x12 or less.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's much better.
I found, because if you go buy just a 1x12 cedar board, boy, they get you for that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, we don't even have it out here. I don't even have it available. But I know back east, what I use on my bigger stuff is when I laminate, a lot of times I use, redwood, because I have that. But the only redwood that I use out here is 2x4s, 2x6s, and then I laminate them up like I've done on that bar sign and, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what I use. But back east, I know a lot of people, they don't have redwood, obviously, but they have cedar decking. And so they use the same kind of deal, laminate up boards out of cedar decking.
Okay. Yeah, because we can't get any redwood around here.
Yeah. Where are you at, Bill?
In Kansas.
In Kansas. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, but you guys might have cedar, like Western red cedar decking or a cedar decking. Do you have that?
Yeah.
So it's 2 inches thick, right? Like 1.5 inches net?
Yeah, I'm going to go check that out this afternoon.
Yeah, that probably will work for you, just like the redwood does for me.
Yeah, give you a little history. Like, for us, we spend from May 1st till October 1st out in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
We got a camper out there and on site. So I was getting a lot of hits, people wanting me to make signs. That's how I got hooked up with you. I got to looking and thought, well, heck, I could probably do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been doing it a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, I got to send you a picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd hang them outside the camper there, and boy, people would walk by and look at them, want to know, well, can we get one like that? Well, sure can.
Yep. Yep, I've got a lot of guys do exactly the same thing. Most of them are down in, down in our area, Southwest. They're from Iowa or Michigan or whatever, and they snowbird down here, and they just have a one for sure has a little setup, and he comes out 4 or 5 months a year, and then he carves right out of his little shed right there. Daryl, it does a great job.
I think I saw it because you had a video on that, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah, not last year. I think the year before we did a video where I went down there and interviewed him, and he's got a great little setup there. Yeah. So you guys go from Kansas to Colorado and winter in Colorado?
We spend the summer up there.
Oh, the summer in Colorado. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, I just appreciate the time and call.
It's not a problem at all, Bill. Now, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I am sitting at my bench right now, and I've been filming this whole deal with my phone, and I've got you on kind of speakerphone, and I'd like to be able, I want to start doing this more where I'm talking to guys and answering questions, and I think it's the questions that you ask are so pertinent, and I get these questions all the time. I'd like to put this on film if it'd be all right with you.
That'd be just fine, Eric.
Oh, terrific. That's great. Well, I appreciate you and Sandy and all you guys you guys watching and all your support and stuff. But I definitely wanted to ask you and get your permission before I put it on the channel. But sometime in the next few weeks, you'll probably hear this conversation or see it on the channel.
Okay, well that's fine, Eric.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it, Bill.
Okay, well thanks a lot, and tell Vicki I'll get back at her later on.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I know she can't reach out and get me that way.
That's right. I'll probably pay the price for it for ratting her out, but that's okay. It'll be worth it.
Okay, Eric. Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. You have a great weekend, man. Tell Sandy I said hi.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.